Haitians and people of Haitian descent understand and have experienced injustice globally with other nations. Nationally, within our race, the Black and mulatto man. Within our social class, rich and poor. And within our religious beliefs, Christian, Catholic, and Voodooist. We know that injustice is everywhere. It is profoundly mind-boggling that this is also happening in our time in the United States, not just in Haiti or elsewhere, but here in the United States. As we form civil societies, we create institutions, we create systems. One in particular is the judicial system, tasked to combat unjust acts by individuals and or groups prone to commit criminal acts. People have rights, and the police is the institution that enforces these rights and laws. That is an enormous responsibility, and when this institution violates people's rights, it needs to be held accountable, or serious reform needs to be made. If not, then it needs to be abolished. But there is a conundrum. Society needs an institution that protects people and property. If the police are abolished, the result will be vigilante groups enforcing their own laws based on personal preference and racial biases. Ahmaud Arbery's rights were violated by vigilantes, while we have a functioning police and judicial system at work in Georgia where that murder happened. How can that happen in our civil, modern society where functioning systems are in place? We find out these unjust acts date back decades. In a National Geographic story by Deneen L. Bryan from 1877 to 1950, more than 4,400 Black men, women, and children were lynched by white mobs, according to the Equal Justice Initiative. Black people were shot, skinned, burned alive, bludgeoned, and hanged from trees. Lynchings were often conducted within sight of the institutions of justice, on the lawns of courthouses. Some historians say the violence against thousands of Black people who were lynched after the Civil War is the precursor to the vigilante attacks and abusive police tactics still used against Black people today, usually with impunity. Again, how can that be in our civil, modern society? Having accountable institutions with checks and balances represents progress in a civil, modern society. But when that institution is prone to harass and murder innocent or unarmed individuals like Mr. George Floyd, this begins the collapse of a society and its institutions. Because if people who look like Mr. Floyd are the target this time, there will be a day when people who look like him, the officer, are the target next time. In other words, if a Black man is the target today, you, the white man, will be a target for the police next time. By then, it will be too late. You will find yourselves in a police state. Why, within a law and order institution, do injustice acts still happen particularly to Black people? Why haven't this system realized its own ills, its own cancer? Or are we at the stage for police reform or abolishment? In this new segment, the BL Show is launching Road to Police Reform. We will look into the paths available for sustainable police reform. These series will be uploaded on our sister YouTube channel, ER. With us today to begin the conversation, Larry Jariga, North Miami's police chief, and Officer Stefan Hippolyte. Chief, let's get right into it. What are your thoughts on what is happening nationwide?
Nationwide is clearly a time for change within law enforcement. The tragic incident that happened in Minneapolis opened many people's eyes. The action and inaction of those officers is absolutely terrible. They need to be held accountable for what they did. Here in South Florida, we're working not only within the North Miami Police Department, but with all the police departments in Dade County through the Dade Chiefs Association in order to review our policies, review our procedures, and make the necessary changes that we need to make, because the changes have to happen. And we can't wait. We have to do them now.
What kind of changes do you believe need to take place?
Well, we have to look at different things. The hard topics, bias policing. We have to look at racial discrimination that's been happening. We have to focus on de-escalation and the need to calm things down when certain incidents are getting heated. We need to be able to take the approach of slowing things down and calming things down. That's part of what we're doing with our officers through our training. We teach them time enables you to slow things down. And if you give yourself distance and cover, and that means if you and I are engaged in a dispute, if I step back, there's distance between us. If I put a chair between us, there's a little more cover for us so that we're not engaging in a negative way. And the more time we have, the more ability we have to calm things down. And we also talk about and train with our officers that they need to be able to step in. They have a duty to intervene. That's what we call it, a duty to intervene. They need to see if something's happening with another officer that's not right, it's their responsibility to step in and stop it.
Wow. You know what? I would love to put a pin right there. How do you create a culture within the city of North Miami where officers feel comfortable to intervene when they see something taking place that's not in line with what they were taught?
The culture is developed through everyday activities. It's developed through senior officers. It's developed through officers that just come out of the academy. And it starts with the executive staff. It starts with the supervisors. We have to preach it every day, and we have to practice what we preach. It has to become built into our officers that they recognize when something's going wrong, that's their job to immediately step in. We tell our community all the time, if you see something, say something. So for our officers, if they see something's going down the wrong path, they need to step in immediately. And it doesn't necessarily even mean when violence is occurring. If they see that I'm having a discussion with one of our citizens and it's getting pretty heated, Officer Hippolyte could step in and say, hey, Larry, I got this. Let me talk to this person. Try and calm things down. We've all been in discussions, whether it's with family or with our neighbors, where you can see it's getting out of hand and somebody else steps in as the mediator. And that's what we need our officers to do.
Very well, very well. Monsieur Hippolyte, pour Haïtien Américain k'ap gade, sa ou ta remédio de sa ka passe dans nation?
Bon, et Jean que chef en fait expliquer, nous-mêmes, nous sommes officiers de police, mais avant que nous officiers de police, nous sommes êtres humains tout. Incident qui fait Minnesota, côté que officier pour un genou, il mettait sous coup, on monde, on être humain, étant un être humain, nous condamnons Zach Sayo. Nous condamnons Zach Sayo parce que l'ité qu'à moi-même, l'ité qu'à n'importe dans nous-mêmes. C'est pas une façon que ou traiter un autre être humain. So, premièrement, pour la justice prend ça très au sérieux, officier qui te mettait genou sous coup Mr. George Floyd, c'est pour lui payer pour ça que le fait. L'autre officier, yo même tout, yo gagné pour la donne tout. Parce que nous-mêmes, Jean que chef en fait expliquer, dans ça que nous relais duty to act. Étant un officier sur une scène, le ko que qu'on bagay k'ap fait qui pas normal, ou gen obligation, ou gen duty pour réagir pour dire non, ça pas supposé fait. So, ça fait vraiment mal étant un haïtien, étant un homme de couleur, côté que nous vivons dans un pays côté que moun pas croire dans la police. Une raison que moi même moi rentrer dans la police, c'est pour me ka bridge gap là entre un police département avec une communauté pour nous faire moun yo connaître que la police nous là pour nous servir, pour nous protéger bon. Mais là que moun yo a regardé ça qu'a fait là, li dû pour tout reste qu'a fait bon travail yo pour qu'on y a pour ta dire que ou pas qu'on fait ça tout ou bien qu'on pas fait ça tout. Ça veut dire que c'est très important pour nous continuer unir nous avec communauté. Mais là que on police fait un acte comme ça, c'est difficile et nous comprendre pour qui ça que moun yo parce que li l'heure pour ça changer. Li l'heure pour ça changer côté que ou traiter un être humain quand on être humain. Ou pas traiter bon pas même ka dit quand bête parce que ici yo pas d'accord, il pas jamais possible dans langage pas nous qu'on dit ou traiter moun quand on chien, mais mon chien qu'on pas traiter comme ça.
C'est ça.
Faut qu'on traiter moun quand on être humain.
C'est ça.
Et Jean que chef en fait dit dans bureau la police North Miami, nous gen ça relé de-escalate. Côté que en pile dans situation qui arrive, c'est pas toute l'heure que obligé mettre force. Tout ça que yo ban nous là, c'est une série de bagages et outils en plus pour nous faire travail nous, mais travail qui plus facile c'est avec bouche. Faut qu'on prenne communiquer, excusez-moi, avec moun. Faut qu'on fait ça relé désescalader. Côté que il y a de l'heure que en situation tellement fort ou ka calmer situation avec parole ou bien de l'heure que ou pas obligé pour une action immédiate. Et Jean-Chef fait expliquer, c'est que il y a deux officiers qui sont en scène, côté que yon ou est que situation pas ranger, pour l'autre la vini dit agades, m'a vini bon me regarder pour moi si m'ka corriger problème là, si m'ka aider moun là. Ça c'est très important, ça gagne pour avec culture que gagne, avec entraînement que recevoir et Jean-Chef fait dire avec administration que gagne, côté que depuis en haut pour jusqu'à arriver dans dernier officier, nous tous nous avons même culture, nous avons même entraînement pour nous connaître que nous là, c'est pour servir la communauté, nous là pour protéger la communauté, mais nous pas là pour nous faire aucun monde mal.
Très bien, Monsieur Hippolyte, ou bien dit. Chief Jariga, where does reform start and what does it look like?
Well, reform is going to be different for each department, but overall, as a law enforcement profession, the reform needs to focus on trust from the community. We need to do whatever is necessary so that the community trusts us. We need to make the big changes. Some departments need to make small changes, but whatever we need to do to build the community's trust again is what we have to do. It's not going to be something that's going to happen like this. We need to do it now, but it's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be a lot of changes that need to happen. And this is a watershed moment for all of us. The actions up there, as I mentioned, in Minneapolis, those actions by those officers, they don't define who we are in North Miami. They don't define who we are as police officers here. But they are impacting us, and they're impacting the entire profession. And all of us are opening our eyes, looking at everything that needs to be adjusted and changed. We need to look at how we deal with our communities, how we deal with the different races within our communities. And the excessive force that has been brought to light through many cell phones,
Yes.
And through different videos, those things need to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed now, as I said.
Wow, absolutely. Without a doubt, there needs to be reform and change can't wait. It cannot wait any longer. Now, there's a lot of talk about defunding the police, and that means different things to different people. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you this. My focus is to build the community's trust. My focus is to ensure the men and women of the North Miami Police Department are respecting the sanctity of all life. And my focus is to ensure that we continue to engage with our community. I'm going to leave the defunding and those discussions to other people. But our focus here, we need to focus on trust, engagement, and ensuring that we're doing the correct things.
Excellent. Officer Opili et Chief la dit comme ça que la focus sur trust. pour encourager le peuple là vraiment une relation avec le département de police. Ça qu'a dit sur ça?
Bon, encore, Jean-Chef Djouiga fait dire, pour nous-mêmes dans le bureau de la police, c'est pour un travail qui commençait après, m'bab dit même la mort, après que l'officier a fini de tuer M. George Floyd. C'est pour un travail que nous commençons hier, son travail que nous avons fait dans la communauté depuis bien longtemps. Nous avons un pile de bagages que nous faisons avec la communauté. Parce que songez bien que sans communauté, nous-mêmes comme officiers dans le bureau de la police, nous n'avons rien. La communauté, c'est eux-mêmes qui jouent nous. C'est avec la communauté que nous faisons tout bagages. J'ai que nous disons, communauté. You see something, you say something. Ça veut dire que nous-mêmes, pendant que nous dans le bureau de la police, ou bien que pendant que moi, là, ma patrouille les zones, ça, je ne sais pas qui ça a fait sur Bisken. Mais, nous, c'est toute communauté. So, nous faisons seul avec la communauté, nous continuons à faire. Nous commençons à faire depuis la police avec Timounio, pour nous montrer Timounio que nous ne sommes pas là pour nous faire mal, nous sommes là pour nous protéger et nous pas pour peur la police. Parce que leur problème, c'est la police qui va appeler. Nous faisons là avec jeunes Timoun dans la high school, dans la middle school, et nous faisons là avec grand monde tout. So, c'est un processus qui commence depuis longtemps. Nous engage dans la communauté. Parce que nous connaissons que sans communauté, pas de bureau de la police, c'est ensemble pour nous marcher. So, c'est très important. Et Jean que m'a dit tout à l'heure, m'a dit encore, c'est pour un travail qui commence après incident ça. Nous-mêmes ici, nous avons continué à faire le même travail là, pour nous montrer à la communauté que nous là, pour nous servir, pour nous protéger, et c'est avec eux que nous y sommes, c'est Jean dit avant de marcher.
Well, you guys, thank you so very much. Chief, I must say to you, as a resident of North Miami for the last 5 years, connecting with you even before you became chief, the consistency in which you serve is admirable, and I really commend you for that. Thank you so very much. Continue to do the great work that you're doing with the officers, with the North Miami Police Department, and you will continue to get our support as constituents and as residents. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having us.
The justice system is a sacred institution. It needs our help, good and just people, law-abiding citizens to uphold it. Change and reform starts with you. Join the police force to hold its values while we weed out the outliers and those who are prone to violence within the police force.